Today, we're diving into the story of Hyundai. But really, it's the story of one man, Chung Ju-young. And this is probably one of the most insane rags to riches stories you will ever hear. So let's just jump right in with the big question. How does a boy who literally worked 17 hours a day just for one meal, how does that kid go on to build a global empire? I mean, it sounds completely impossible, right? Well, he did it. And we're going to break down exactly how. Okay, so let's set the scene. We're going back to 1915, a tiny, super poor village in what's now North Korea. This is where Chung Ju-young is born. And his future, well, it looked like it was already written for him. And that script was simple. Farm, be poor, and just try to survive. And this is where things get really interesting. Young Chung would take these trips into a nearby city to sell wood, and it was like he was seeing two different planets. On one hand, you have the farm. I mean, we're talking 17-hour days, constant poverty, and just no hope that anything will ever change. But then there's the city. And in the city, people had enough to eat, they had decent clothes, they had opportunities. For him, it was a glimpse of a totally different life. And that little glimpse, it lit a fire in him. He knew he had to get out. So that desire to escape, it wasn't just some daydream. No, it became an absolute obsession. He was convinced if I stay here, nothing changes. So he did the only thing he could think of. He ran away. And he didn't just try once. I mean, look at this. It's just incredible persistence. His first escape, he's 16, walks 160 kilometers, gets a job, and his dad finds him and drags him home 2 months later. He tries again, gets caught. Tries a third time, gets caught again. But on the fourth try at 18, he makes it to Seoul. And this is where it all starts. He gets a simple delivery job at a rice store, works harder than anyone, and just a few years later, at 22, he doesn't just work at the store, he owns it. Okay, so think about that. He's 22 years old, he's escaped that farm, he's a successful business owner. That's the end of the movie, right? Credits roll, happy ending. Well, not even close. For Chung, his real trials were just getting started, and I mean catastrophic trials. All right, so this next chapter is, honestly, it's just this brutal cycle. He builds something amazing, and boom, it gets wiped out. He succeeds, then faces total disaster. And it just keeps happening. So let's start with business number one, the rice shop. It's a huge success, he's built a great reputation, he's finally done it, he's secure. And then, World War II happens. The Japanese government comes in and just takes his business, seizes it. Everything he worked for, just gone. Poof. But does he give up? Nope. He pivots. He gets a loan and starts business number two, a car repair shop called the Auto Service Garage. And then, just 1 month in, the whole thing burns to the ground. Total loss. So now he's not just back to zero, he's deep in debt. I mean, for 99% of people, that's it. Game over. But Chung wasn't most people. This quote from him says it all. If I put my heart and soul sincerely into whatever work I am doing, I will surely succeed. And he believed it. So what does he do? He goes and gets another loan. He rebuilds the garage, but this time he's smarter. He focuses on speed. Everyone else was taking like 20 days to fix a car. He figured out how to do it in 5. And with that, his business just exploded. So here we go again. He's on top of the world, a massive success. And then, can you believe it? The Japanese government shows up again and seizes this business for war production. That's 3 times. 3 successful businesses just snatched away from him. He's forced to go all the way back to his village right before the war ends. But once the war is over, he's right back to Seoul. He starts over again, but this time he gives his company a new name, a really meaningful name, Hyundai. In Korean, it means modernity or modern times. It was like he was saying, the past is over, we're building the future now. And pretty soon he realized the biggest opportunity wasn't just fixing cars, it was rebuilding the entire country. So he founded the Hyundai Civil Works Company. You're not going to believe this. Just as his construction company is starting to land huge projects, the Korean War breaks out in 1950. His country is literally torn in two, and he has to flee. Again. But here's the thing about Chung. Even in the middle of a war zone, he sees opportunity. He starts working with the US Army, and he gets this reputation. His motto was basically, can do. You needed something built, no matter how impossible it seemed? Chung's company could do it. And that reputation for just getting stuff done, that became the bedrock of everything to come. So after the war, Chung spends the next few decades literally building modern South Korea. We're talking dams, highways, the whole infrastructure. He was essential in creating the nation we see today. But for him, that wasn't enough. He didn't just want to build the country, he wanted to build its industries. And that's when he made a move that was so audacious, most people just thought he was insane. So, fast forward to the 1970s. He's finally done it. Hyundai launches South Korea's first mass-produced car, the Pony. And at home, it's a monster hit. It grabs 60% of the entire market. But, and this is a big but, the company was losing a ton of money. The car wasn't great quality, and nobody outside of Korea wanted to buy it. And here is the absolute core of the problem. The entire car market in South Korea was only 30,000 cars a year, total. That is tiny. You just can't make money with a market that small. The math doesn't work. So logically, everyone was telling him, Chung, cut your losses, shut it down. So what does he do? Does he listen? Of course not. He does the exact opposite. He makes a decision that left everyone's jaws on the floor. He announced he was going to build a brand new factory. And the capacity of this factory? 300,000 cars a year. That's 10 times bigger than the entire market. It was a crazy all-or-nothing bet that he could not only grow the home market, but also conquer the world. And this move, this insane gamble, this is what took Hyundai from being just a local Korean company to a global powerhouse. So how on earth did he pull it off? Well, take a look at this. The strategy for the US market, the toughest market in the world, was pure genius. He launched a new car, the Hyundai Excel, for the price of a used car, and Americans went wild for it. The response was just explosive. In 1986 alone, 170,000 cars sold. The next year, 260,000. It became the fastest-growing car import in US history. The gamble had paid off big time. And you have to understand, Chung never just built a car company. He built an engine for South Korea itself. Hyundai became a symbol of national pride. Today, yeah, they're the world's third largest automaker. But the Hyundai Group is way more than that. It's 42 different companies. It includes the biggest shipbuilding company on the planet. This whole enterprise created millions of jobs and really announced South Korea's arrival on the world stage. He didn't just build a company, he helped build a modern nation. So when you look at Chung Ju-young's life, it's just this incredible story of resilience and betting big when everyone else tells you you're crazy. And it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? What's your impossible goal? What's that big, audacious decision in your life that you're afraid to make? Because maybe that's all that's standing in the way.